Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you my Week 8 game from the PPL. Yes, indeed. Now, we're having a terrible season, some of which isn't our fault. But what can you do except keep on going and keep on trucking? Now, this week we played against Monotooi and Tampa Bay Luxrays. His links down in the description below, make sure you check them out. He has very high quality league stuff and various other things. He does a lot of talking and theorising about league and tiers and things like this. He's very intelligent when it comes to Pokemon. He's got a good mind for it, so check him out. You'll learn something most likely, and you'll probably enjoy yourself too. So, he's had a sort of average season. I've had a terrible season. So we're both looking for a win. Now, the team he's decided to bring, as you can see, actually, firstly, we'll go over mine. If you want to see my full team building analysis video, down in the description once again, you can see my thought process going into this game. Everything you need to know about my sets will be in that video, but very briefly, we have got Scarf Tyrantrum, FizzDef Double Status Spiritomb, Physical Assault Vest, Electros, we've got a Sash Greninja with Water Shuriken, we've got an Offensive Life Orb, Bulky Florges, and a Rapid Spinning, and still fairly quick, Excadrill. Now, Mono, the team he has decided to bring, he has got Mega Altaria, Terrakion, the Fortress, Mew, Yanmega, and Skuntank. So, not all the things I expected to see. No Thundurus, which made me very happy indeed. There's no Prankster Thunderwave going on here, which is nice. Tyrantrum and Greninja, they both appreciate that quite a lot. Also, there was something else that I thought he might bring that he didn't have. And I've forgotten what it is. But it doesn't really matter because he hasn't brought it. So yeah, there's that. He's got all his possible hazard removal right there on the field, which is, you know, interesting. So I don't know which one it's going to be. The Yanmega is an interesting addition. I didn't think we'd see that. But that's interesting. I feel like I can take on a Yanmega. I feel okay about this matchup. Looking at his team, I do feel pretty good going into this. I think, you know, I'm looking at it thinking, I can handle this. So, without any further ado at all, we're going to get into the battle and see exactly how things played out. So, I lead with Electros. It seems to be my safest lead in most games. He's going to go with the Mew. I don't fear this thing too much. He is going to go for the knockoff first turn, get rid of my Assault Vest, which is fine. I am just going to go straight for the U-turn and do big damage. So he's not FizzDef, that's for damn sure. I'm going to make the very early play, realising he's not FizzDef, go into Tyrantrum. He shows that he has the leftovers, so I'm looking to assume he is a specially defensive Mew. So he's going to switch out, he doesn't want to take a big hit. I make a very early play and go for Earthquake as he goes to Fortress. I was kind of hoping he'd make the offensive switch early game and go to Terrakion, who can take my head smashes, but he goes to Fortress, and that shows that's his lead go-to guy when it comes to Tyrantrum. That's good to know. So, Fortress in, I'm going to go back into my Electros, as Mono is going to go for the Toxic Spike. That's very interesting play. He wants to force in my extra draw when he can, knowing I can't automatically remove these things. So, he's going to switch on out of there. He doesn't want to take a potential fire attack. He's going to go into his Mew, thinking, I guess, that I might be mixed, but I am just going to go for the Wild Charge here. Get some nice big damage, realising that he was most likely going to switch. So Mew is being worn down, this is very nice. However, he can outspeed me, go for the Roost, that's fine. I'm just U-turning here, and once again I'm going to get a nice sort of 42% going on, keeping this Mew consistency at a low amount of health, or as low as I can keep him, which is really useful. Now here is a perfect opportunity to go into my Excadrill, and you know, I can either go for a spin, or I can threaten this guy out. Now, his only real switch in here is the Fortress, which is also good because it means I can wear down that guy as well. So with that in mind, I am going to go for Earthquake just to hit as much as possible. And, you know, it does a decent amount of damage here. Now, I don't fear this Fortress unduly. I am going to go for the Rapid Spin. If he has Earthquake, he can damage me a bit. But as you can see, he is just going to go for the Rocks here. And I think his plan was to hope I was Life Orb and he could wear me down with Rapid Spin and keep the hazards up. But as I've revealed, I'm not Life Orb, and I'm certainly not Scarfed. I go for Iron Head here, predicting him to try and switch out and get some initiative. I get the flinch, nothing really happens that turn, it's a bit of a non-entity. So here I'm going to resume my Rapid Spinning. Really want to keep hazards off my side of the field. Here, he's going to go for Durable and get, you know, some damage, but not a huge amount. Now this matchup's getting both of us nowhere fast, but I'm going to be the one to try and get something going. I'm going to make the hugely risky switch, go into my Florges, predicting him to go for some more hazards. Now this telegraphs the fact I've hidden Power Fire, but I just want to go for it. I want to get this thing out of my face. It's bugging me, it's annoying me, I want it gone from the field. So he is going to go into his Skuntank, his best switch into this guy. I'm going to go for the hidden Power Fire. It's going to do 30%, which isn't bad. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad either, and I show myself to be lifeful. Now I have a very, very safe switch in here. Excadrill doesn't really fear too much from Skuntank, and in his mind I might still be Assault Vest. So he's going to go for the Poison Jab, and that's not going to do anything. Now here, he makes a very good and very ballsy play. He goes for the Sucker Punch, predicting my spin, and that's what I go for. If I'd have gone for Earthquake, he'd have been dead in the water. But Mono makes a very good play predicting me to get the spin off, and he gets big damage relatively free. But here, I know the next Sucker Punch is coming, and this is my chance to go into my Tyrantrum freely. Sucker Punch comes in, he can't do anything to me, and now something's taking a hit. I'm not messing around. He is going to go into the Fortress once again, and I'm going to go for the Head Smash. We're going to nail him with that, and that is a clean 2-hit KO. So he has to sack off his Fortress here. He's still well within range, so going to go for the second Head Smash. I'm going to miss. That's unfortunate, but it does happen. He is going to get some hazards up. I can spin on the Mew later, and when he gets his leftovers, I have a 96% chance to kill. I'll take those odds. So I go for the Head Smash. I get the lowest possible roll. He goes for Gyro Ball, and he crits me. And there's where I'm going to pause. You knew it was coming, it had to. Now, I'm going to talk for a bit here. I might even cut the music, I don't know. I need to get this off my chest. I'll precursor all of this by saying, as I have done every time there has been hacks against me, this was not Mono's fault. I do not blame him in the slightest. He cannot control what happened. He wasn't playing for hacks, that's very much clear. He was sacking off Fortress, it was his only play. He went for hazards first time, just in case something good went for him, and it did, and that was fine. We miss head smashes, it happens, I get that. It's an 80% chance move. But then, to get literally the lowest possible roll, a 96% chance to kill from that range, and I get the 4%, and then he crits me with Gyro Ball, which absolutely mattered. Now I've lost my Scarfer for no good reason, and he's still got this Fortress left as fodder. I was absolutely incensed at this. And again, I hasten to say, not at Mono. I know it's not his fault. I'm fully aware. We know this. But it's just after everything that's happened this season, and then that happens, I was so done. I was so angry. Just the two worst things. The miss, the lowest of the low rolls, and then the crit. I don't even know how a crit killed me. Like, I've been calcing it. He is a, spoiler alert, he's a fully physically defensive Fortress. He doesn't have attack investment. I don't know how he got a crit 100%. The calcs tell me it's not possible, but I guess they must be. And he has to have been physically defensive, because otherwise I would have done more damage, but I mean, it's an absolute piss take, really. I mean, there's no other way around it. And I'm desperately trying to be sort of unbiased in my opinions about the hacks, but it becomes so difficult when it just keeps happening week in, week out. And this is part of the reason why I've been so reticent to upload. It partly is because I've been busy. That's a true thing. But it's just, as I say, it's week in, week out. The coaches of all leagues, they put hours into team building a squad of 6 of your Pokemon that will take on 9, 10, 11 of your opponents. And I pride myself in the fact that most weeks I have brought the right squad, the squad that can win. Yeah, okay, there have been some where it hasn't happened. Shout out to the game against Alex, look how well that turned out. I brought the entirely wrong team. That happens, I get it. But for this game and for other games, I think I've brought the 6 perfect Pokemon. I put hours into it, I'm running the calcs, I'm doing specific defensive EVs to take specific hits, same thing for speed attack, everything. I put hours into it, and then RNG, week in, week out, just goes, you know what, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're just going to get fucked over, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's so demoralising, and that's part of why I haven't been uploading, because I just can't bring myself to sit down and watch these things happen. completely out of my control. There's nothing I can do, and I'm getting completely screwed over for it. So that's a little mid-game rant. I was very angry in the game, not at Mono. I say it again. I'll keep saying it till the day I die. But you know what? We've got a game to play. We're only a little ways into it, so let's get right back and see how we recover. So, he gets a bit of leftovers. At this point, my players to go into Excadrill, but I can't take the risk of spinning at this point. He might still have, I think he's shown that he doesn't have Earthquake, but I don't want to take more damage, so I go for Iron Head, my best middle ground play that will take out the Fortress. Now, in comes the Terrakion. I know I can still spin on the Mew, and I'm going to need to preserve my Sash on Greninja. So, I'm going to go into Spiritomb, who doesn't mind getting Toxic. I do have Pain Split for recovery. And the Terrakion here, the big threat, is going to go for the close combat. That is, of course, not going to affect me. And, you know, he doesn't want to stay in here. He can't kill me. If he's banded, he can't affect me. If he's not, he can't kill me. So, he's going to go into Skuntank. I predict the switch here. I actually go for a Toxic, hoping that either the Mew or the Altaria would come in. I want to burn the Terrakion. I want to get Toxic on the others. So, knowing he'd switch out, I went for Toxic. Either way, here, he is going to go for Crunch. He's going to get the defense drop because, of course, he is. Why the hell wouldn't he? Just to add insult to injury, I'm going to go for the Willow. That's going to get a nice tasty burn on the Skuntank. So that's absolutely grand. Now, I do want to save Spiritomb as fodder for later on, so I am going to take it out. Mono gets that right, he's going to go for the Pursuit. It doesn't quite kill me, and what I can do here is I can bring in my Electros just to try and make sure of the KO. I don't want to go for Drain Punch because it might not kill, so I'm just going to go for the Wild Charge. He's going to Poison Jab, he's going to get the Poison because of course he is. And I'm going to go for the Wild Charge, that's going to take it out, but with Aftermath and the Recoil and the Poison, that is in fact going to be a double down, and Electros is going to go down as well. So, Poison takes its toll, and down goes Electros, which is unfortunate. Now, Mono sees this as a good a time as any to bring in Altaria. He hasn't had a chance to set up yet, and I'm going to try and prevent him if at all possible. So I go into Spiritomb. It serves no more purpose other than to prevent him from being greedy. If he wants to DD or sub, I'll burn him. So, he doesn't do that. He's going to go for the return, pop my Roselia Berry, which of course, from that range, isn't going to do anything. But I was going to punish him if he was going to go for setup. He would have got burned. Now, I go into Excadrill here, and I'm going to be able to threaten out this Altaria with the threat of an Iron Head, and that is exactly what I am going to go for. So, he switches out, he's going to go into his Mew, I am going to go for the Iron Head here. Take it down to 5%, now this is my one and only chance left to spin. If I can maintain my Greninja Sash, I can win this game. So, I go for spin, Greninja very much my win condition, especially with Florges in support. So, Knockoff is going to take out my Excadrill, but I've got rid of the hazards, and that is grand. Excadrill have done that all game and has done really well in it. So, for the first time this game, we are going to bring out Greninja. Greninja hits the field, Sash intact. Mono realises this and he wasn't happy, he was scared. So, Ice Beam is going to take out the Mew from here, but I can't one-shot the Altaria, and I know it's coming in. I have to go for Ice Beam, I have to get the freeze. I'm thinking, after everything that's happened this season, just give me the freeze. I get the freeze, and of course, he thaws instantly. And I was just like, no. No, you can't be serious. He breaks my Sash, and I'm like, game, it's done, I can't win. So I go for the Ice Beam. It is going to, of course, take out the Altaria from here. And I'm just like, I can't believe the luck. In comes Yanmega. I'm like, the Protect is super duper obvious. I am going to make the switch into Florges, you know, even though I'm not, like, especially defensive. I have max HP, I can tank the hits from this guy. He's going to go for the Protect, it's going to fail. I will take him out in one hit. You know, Yanmega is not the most bulky of things. Now, Mono is going to go for the Air Slash and look for the flinches. Now, if he'd have got that flinch, I'd have been livid, but he doesn't. I go for the Moonblast, that will take out the Yanmega. So, it comes down to the fact that Mono has Terrakion left. Now, he will be able to take me out with an Iron Head or a Poison Jab. He actually has the latter. Goes to the Poison Jab. Now, it's Greninja versus this Terrakion, but I don't know if he's Scarfed, and I can't take the risk. I have to go for Water Shuriken. It's my only play. One hit, 18%, 19%, 21%, 22%, and we come so close. We get the 5 hits. He's going to go for the Poison Jab. That is going to take down Greninja, and that is going to be the game. A lot of talking points in that one. A lot of talking points, a lot of interesting things that we need to bring up. Some things went well. You know, I think Excadrill performed admirably in its role as hazard removal. It did very well there. It kept on removing them. We were doing well with initiative early game. Once again, Electros was putting in an absolute shift. Tyrantrum was pressuring every time it came in. Then, of course, we get that mid-game turn when Tyrantrum goes down, and that was a game changer, a huge game changer. Absolutely massive moment in the game, which turned the tide in a big way. Then we have this kind of mid-game interlude. Not a lot is going on. No one's really getting an advantage. The clutch spin and Greninja could have done it. Could have cleaned up. I had to go for the Ice Beam freeze on Altaria. I had to go for the Ice Beam anyway as my best move to hit it, but I needed that freeze. I needed it. And I was just thinking, after everything that has happened this season, just give me this one thing. Just give me this one thing. And for a glorious second I had it. And I was just like, I was halfway in raising my arms in celebration, and then it says thawed out, and I was like, you cannot be serious. After everything, even when I get the hacks in my favour, it doesn't matter. Now, as far as the last matchup goes, that's another interesting talking point. I had to go for Water Shuriken. In my mind, that was my best play. Now, as it turns out, deeply unfortunately, he wasn't scarfed. He was a banded Terrakion, he was not scarfed, which surprised me because I didn't think he had any reason not to bring a scarfed set. But that's the way it goes. So if I'd have gone for Scald, ironically enough, I would have won. So if I wasn't packing Water Shuriken as contingency for a scarfed Terrakion that never showed up, I would have been given no choice but to go for Scald, and I would have been given no choice but to win. But I didn't know that at the time, and I guess looking back, I should have seen it, because if he was, and I only realised this, actually weeks after the game happened, this game happened so long ago, I realised it weeks after the game. If he had been Scarfed Terrakion, he would have just brought it in against Greninja. He knew I wasn't Scarfed, so he would have had no reason not to bring it in. He knew he could take out Florges because he'd seen it was Life Orbed. So if he was Scarfed, he would have just brought it in against Greninja, but that was shortly after the the freeze and thaw moment, and I was kind of playing on tilt, and I've been in a bad mood since turn 17 with the Tyrantrum, so it was a bad time all round. I could have won that game, but you know, realistically, he still could have been scarfed. It might have been that he wanted more damage on the Florges with the Yan Mega. I don't know. Either way, you know, I guess that Water Shuriken was still a fair play to make, and probably still the best one, because you can't be too sure if he's scarfed or not. There were clues along the way, but I just didn't pick up on them. So, you know, we get a couple of low rolls on the Water Shuriken as well, but what are you going to do? So, we lose once again to Mono in a very close game, and other than the sort of the big moment of hacks, it was actually a really good game. So hats off to Mono. Once again, his link's in the description. Make sure you check them out. Do that, because you won't regret it. So we're sort of a little bit 1-8 at this point. Are we? Are we 1-8 or are we 1-9? We're 1-8. So we're not relegated yet, but it is looking more likely every week. So we do desperately need to get some wins. Our next game, that is, or I should say was, because it's been played, that was against Liam on Lawful Exile and West Shan United. So that'll be going up on the channel hopefully in the not too distant future if I can get around to recording it. So stick around for that. Make sure you do keep an eye out, because it's a good one, once again, as many of them are. So yeah, I'm pretty much getting out of here. I've rambled on for far too long. So once again, final time, links in the description. Mono, do check out his stuff, make sure of it. But I'm going to get out of here, so my final thank you to you all for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.